I tried creating a whole video yesterday and I ranted for about 40 minutes and I had to scrap it. I had to throw it away because pro wrestling makes me very angry and I realized that's not conducive to making a very good video. So what I'm going to do is take a deep breath and not film an entire video while I am fasting for over 48 hours. You guys don't understand what that does to a person's brain. I'm still lightheaded and I've already ate, but I think pro wrestling has become too bloated, and not pro wrestling in terms of the industry, because the industry of course is growing, it's changing, the independents are absolutely in the shitter, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm talking about is the style of professional wrestling. Honestly, to quote the famous Peter Griffin line, it insists upon itself. I did not watch the AEW show. I had no intention of watching the AEW show. I watch shows that I'm a part of. They ain't paying me. It comes down to this. I am not a WWE lover. Okay, we're gonna get that right off the bat. I am a former deathmatch wrestler, still pro wrestler. Book me at theakiraway@gmail.com because I am so much cooler, so much handsomer, and so much more stylish than the wrestlers that you book. AEW, to me, has gotten to the point where every match is trying to be this great, crazy epic that leaves people talking. Everyone's trying to be the match of the night by being longer and doing as much as possible. And I realized why I stopped watching AEW consistently, and it's because it's just too much. Apparently a 45-minute long death match at like 12 at night on a work night. I'm not one to speak for the casual fan, but the casual fan does not have time for that. The people that are going to stay up for that are the most diehard of diehards. And I think it's kind of just a disservice to the entirety of your show when every match is going 15 minutes plus. What happened to short and sweet? What happened to brevity? What happened to having matches that could do its entire message in a short amount of time? I'm thinking of the Mochizuki versus Otani matches from the Super J Cup. I'm thinking of Shibata versus Ishii. I'm even thinking about Nakamura versus Ibushi, or Nakamura versus Sakuraba from Wrestle Kingdom. Like, those matches, I think we've gotten to the point where everyone is trying to do the more. Please remember me, please remember me, please. And I think I'm just tired. I just want things to be poignant. I want things to be purposeful. Not everything needs to be 20 minutes long. Not everything needs to be 15 minutes long. Where's my 8 to 10 minute sprint masterpieces? Where's my 5-minute dash masterpieces? I want more like that. I was so happy once I realized that I could do matches in a 5-minute format at like MLW. I had one versus AKIRA Kwan where it was 5 minutes, boom, and the crowd was saying that was the match of the night. That was very cool to me. But we've gotten to the point, I think, where we're so insistent upon trying to do more to make people remember us, and it all kind of runs the same. The colors run the same, the timing runs the same. Everyone is such a great athlete. This is not a knock on anyone in AEW as professional wrestlers, because they're some of the best athletes ever in terms of professional wrestling. They're some of the best, pro wrestlers going today. I liked AEW, this is going to sound controversial, when Punk was there. Punk would have these matches that I still think about to this day. Him versus Eddie Kingston was like, 10 to 15 minutes? And I remember it more than I remember anything else. I remember those shorter, more, territorial style matches on Collision. I looked forward to Collision just because it felt different than the high fidelity independent wrestling style that everyone else was doing on Dynamite. I enjoyed the promos. I enjoyed the entirety of the product when it was Collision. Obviously, was Collision perfect? God, no. No wrestling promotion ever hits 100 for 100. It's just no human does either. Can we get over this weird influencer thing of everything has to be perfect 24/7? Nothing is perfect. When human beings are touching something, especially in professional wrestling, human beings have the capacity ad nauseum to fuck things up. It's just what we do. If you're religious, it's because we were literally made that way. We were predestined to fall apart at the seams and die. But when I was watching AEW when Punk was there, I enjoyed Dynamite more because Collision was different. What happened to actual diversity in styles and actual diversity in matches. Diversity itself is not a bad thing. There's people that are going to be diversity, DEI, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. That's not what I'm talking about. Being diverse, but being diverse because you're talented, and being diverse in terms of content, and being diverse in terms of style is great. Everyone wants to be the master of everything. Everyone wants to be a jack of all trades, a master of none. And I always remember the Minoru Suzuki quote on Jon Moxley when him and Mox fought in New Japan, when he basically said Jon Moxley is a great pro wrestler because Jon Moxley doesn't do everything else that everyone else does. He does what he does and he sticks to his lane. And when everyone else can do everything under the sun, they all look the same, talk the same, wrestle the same. It's kind of boring. One thing I prided myself on the independents was, and I still pride myself on the independents, by the way, is that I do not wrestle like other people. I take inspiration from late 90s All Japan, earlier All Japan. I take inspiration from Shinsuke Nakamura's New Japan run, especially his IC title run when he was the King of Strong Style. And I've incorporated those into myself. I take inspiration from Naomichi Marufuji, Masashi Takeda, Jun Kasai. Not that everyone has ever watched in Ring of Honor, that anyone who has ever watched anything, from PWG. I did not grow up on PWG. I did not grow up on Chikara. I had no interest in any of those. It's just not my thing. Everyone looked different, sounded different, operated different. That's the beauty of professional wrestling, is when you stand out and you're different amongst other people. And the best thing about professional wrestling is pro wrestling is cool when it does its own thing while slightly drawing from the outside world, completely aping off of current things that are hot and trendy. It starts to feel like I'm watching a WWE product, and I don't want to watch that. The beautiful thing I liked about New Japan, especially when it was the Nakamura IC run, all that shit, was that they were just themselves, and they took little bits of inspiration and they brought it into themselves, and it made them a more complete wrestler. It made them different. I've always stated in any seminar I've ever done, in any class I've ever taught, that you become a better pro wrestler when you grow as a human being and you grow in your interest. Liking professional wrestling is not a character. Being a good professional wrestler is not a character. And people could say, what about Bryan Danielson? Bryan Danielson was not just a great professional wrestler. He never was that. He was a cocky motherfucker. Repeatedly. Throughout his entire career. And a vegan. That Danielson was probably the best version of what a modern indie wrestler or what a modern professional wrestler could be if they wanted to be so focused on pro wrestling. Get your pro wrestling ability so good that you just throw in a little bit of character, just a little bit, just enough where it's a kind of a caricature, where it can be, put in front of a magazine, it can be put in front of merchandise. I still think about hippie Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, sorry, during his last Fed run when he was the vegan champ, right? That's cool to me. That stands out. It's unique. We need more of that. I heard about the show this weekend and how every match was long, and everyone's saying it's the greatest show. It's the greatest show. They say that every fucking show, and maybe it is. I don't know. I miss when things felt different. Violent, but short and sweet. Violent, and they had a point. It wasn't long-winded. It wasn't bloated. It wasn't insisting upon itself that, oh, it's so epic. It's so epic. Guys, it's so epic. I think that shorter is sweeter, and in pro wrestling, being different is better. I hope that we can move towards that. Like, I started enjoying Noah matches more recently just because Noah matches were different than everyone else. They weren't as long. The championship matches would maybe go 15 to 20 minutes, and that would be good. That'd be it, I realized I enjoyed matches like Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Kento Miyahara from All Japan in 2023, from Noah in 2023. They had the All Japan match in 2024. I liked that match so much because they wrestled different than everyone else on the card, and they wrestled different than everyone else, period. We're at such a turning point in professional wrestling that the independents are currently in a turmoil, to be honest. People that say that the indies are doing good and they're not dying. The indies will never die, but they aren't healthy. They're definitely in the hospital. They definitely got an IV in their arm right now. It's not good. The actual bigwig corporate professional wrestling is in a constant state of flux and a state of growth, and they're constantly going to people outside of professional wrestling to try to validate professional wrestling rather than just being good professional wrestling. It doesn't make much sense to me. And here I am caught in the middle of it, trying to stay afloat. And I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my thoughts because, you know what? I have thoughts. I have opinions, and I'm not going to sit on here anymore. I may be a casual when it comes to understanding life and learning about new things. I'm very much trying to dive into it more. But there's one thing that I do know, and it is professional wrestling. I've only been wrestling for 8 years, but I've been all around the world, wrestled for some of the biggest companies, and I'm trying to do more in it. But right now, all I can do is sit here and talk about it. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know what everyone else thinks about the AEW product. I just don't watch. I like things outside of wrestling, and when I watch wrestling, I want to watch older wrestling because, I don't know, it makes me feel something in here. Newer wrestling, I don't feel much, you know? Something isn't clicking for me anymore, and I'm trying to just enjoy what I like and incorporate that into the work that I do. But comment below what you like in professional wrestling. What do you guys think about the AEW product as a whole? Do you liked it when things were more punchier, things were a little bit more diverse in terms of style? Or do you guys really like the direction that the company's going? And this is not an anti-deathmatch brand, obviously, because I made my entire career off that, and I will never shit talk deathmatch wrestling, even though I don't particularly like deathmatch wrestling too much anymore, because the deathmatch scene is also the shits. But comment below, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you did like this video, and if you do want to see more pro wrestling content, please subscribe. This is AKIRA, your filthy casual in life and in YouTube, and I'm going to kiss you goodnight.